Welcome to the Outbound Sales Podcast with your host, Jeff Swan. Each week, we're going to be talking to sellers, sales leaders, and company founders who are sharing their secrets to getting over 10 meetings booked per month per rep. Every episode is going to be packed full of tactical and practical tips you can use to fill your funnel today. So thank you and happy hunting. Hey everyone, Jeff here from the now renamed Outbound Sales Podcast with my friend, good friend, and former co-host of a bi-weekly web series that Katie Ray. How's it going, Katie? Welcome to my podcast.
Yes, I'm so excited. It's been some time and lots of changes, but so thrilled to chat with you about what happened last year and what we're looking forward to this year. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, Katie and I used to co-host a regular event called Sequence Practice, where we actually help people optimize their sales sequences. And we always end up having some fun stuff to say about sales in general. And we just had a blast doing it. So what was really cool, though, is that when we started the event, it was right in the thick of COVID pandemic. And people were chomping at the bit for great quality content, and we were happy to provide that content. Right, Katie?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And we had some amazing guests with us. I mean, the times that we had Dale Dupree on there and Jason Bay. I mean, we've had a lot of really fun conversations and a lot of straight shooting, that's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Like even sometimes we would just be so taken aback on, like, I remember Josh Braun coming in and be like, no, let's rethink how we're doing this. Just took over.
Everything is horrible.
Just everything is horrible. But the lessons I learned from him have helped me in my coaching career and helped me improve the stuff that I do for reps to this day. So, I mean, learned so much and grew. And it really, I'm going to say that it kicked off. We stopped doing it in March of last year with what I thought was probably one of our best shows, actually. But it's since then, a lot has changed, but not a lot has changed in the sales world. So, Katie, what have you noticed that happened like in the last year since we've been doing the show?
So one of my absolute least favorite things is the FaceTiming trend. I'm a huge proponent of cold calling. Everyone that knows me knows you just cold call and call and call and call. But this FaceTiming thing, not a fan of. I do not like that whatsoever. I think it's very weird.
Oh man, I remember seeing that. It popped up everywhere. You know, there were polls about it. There were questions. There were I think there even were events on how to FaceTime cold call and just, there's certain things that you just don't do.
Yeah. So cringy.
You know? Yeah.
Buy me dinner first before you decide just to FaceTime me.
Right.
Send me a DoorDash gift card and be like, hey, I'm FaceTiming you. Let's have a chat over lunch. Like, I would be fine with that now that I say that out loud. That'd be cool. So
this is actually okay. So like I actually covered this last year in a pod and we were talking about, doing things that work, doing things that work and don't piss off your buyer.
Yeah.
Right. And granted, standard cold calling, standard emailing, all these things, they do tend to annoy certain parts of your buyer, of your market. Right. But there's things like FaceTiming that are so personal. There's things like text and there's certain channels that within markets that just rub people the wrong way. And it's just not good. Right. And so you gotta be careful when you're taking on a new tactic. To not do things that are going to alienate your buyer but still actually work.
Yeah. I mean, I think of whenever I sold into IT admins, I'm not going to be FaceTiming a 75-year-old IT admin at the local middle school that I think that would freak him out so much. I would not encourage that by any means. Yeah. So, and I think that's what we found last year in our sequence review with so many folks is there's so many different strategies and opportunities out there that are purely dependent on your industry. I think we had Devin on I believe that she was selling into real estate. I think it was her. and she talked about like prospecting via Facebook. And I thought that was weird. I wouldn't want that for me. I wouldn't use my Facebook, anywho, but, and I thought that's very interesting. But whenever you look at the real estate industry, that's how a lot of agents communicate. And a lot of their business is done through like Facebook ads and leveraging that avenue. And so just like so much of what we say and what we've done, it's so dependent on industry and who your buyer is. So yeah, it's always a good little golden rule.
It is a golden rule. Like the first section of any coaching program that I do with anybody is all about defining your target buyer. It's so important to really understand, what are the goals they have? What are the immediate things that are holding them back, right? Like what are their aspirational goals that they're trying to accomplish in the far end? And what are the things right in front of them that they're trying to accomplish? So the aspirational goals are things like, if you're playing football, it's win the Super Bowl. That's the aspirational goal. Right? If you're trying to just win the game, you're trying to get a first down. That's the first thing. That's an immediate goal, right? So when you're looking at these things, you need to understand your buyer, know the difference, and know whether Facebook is the channel, whether LinkedIn is the channel, phone, what have you. But there's one thing that both you and I agreed as we talked before the session that we think moving forward in 2022 is going to be the top channel. And what is that, Katie?
Cold calling. Picking up that phone and making a call. Absolutely. I've always been a really big proponent of it. And in my experience with cold calling started right after college, and I was working at Robert Half and I was doing recruitment, and it was 100+ calls a day. And you just had to do that. And then going into software sales and doing 100+ and having our calls tied to our commission. So, it's definitely broken into calling, but I mean, you just have to, you have to pick up the phone. You have to, take a minute, do a little bit of research and really get into a groove. And I feel that the more you call, the more comfortable you will be, the more confidence that you'll have actually with your product and being able to explain what you do. I remember my first times cold calling and being so nervous about, am I explaining what we do? Because that's what they say. Who are you? Why are you calling? And so you get more and more comfortable and then you'll have young reps looking up to you. But cold calling, that's king. Still going to be king.
Yeah. I mean, stats from last year. So most recent stats that I've collected were that cold calling was literally double the response rate of social or email. Yeah. Wow. 2x, right? Now what that translates is that you're going to have twice the conversations than if you just stick with digital channels. And Katie, how long does it take to make 10 phone calls?
Well, it depends if they answer.
Right. But, yeah. But 10 dials can literally take like 5 minutes. Yeah. Right. Even if you're doing, even if you're doing it with the old school, like dial in whatever, right? Yeah. Take maybe 5 minutes at the most. Yeah. How long does it take to send 10 social media messages?
Too long.
A lot longer, right?
Well, and if you think about it too, I feel like there's a new generation of sellers that are coming in that have been told over the past 2-3 years that cold calling is dead. And they see all the polls, they see all the posts from all the top influencers that they're supposed to follow on LinkedIn. Yep. And they all say that cold calling is dead. So you know what the smart sellers are doing? They're making the calls because everyone else is emailing. The emails are getting stuck in spam. The emails are getting stuck in that. There's a new gate that people are using that encourage a donation to a nonprofit in order to get past that gate, which I think is very, very smart. Marketing should put that into their budget. It's genius. But, if 80 people are sending emails and only 20 are calling, the people that are actually getting the person on the phone and having that first conversation are probably going to be more successful. So be where your competitors aren't. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you're in an industry where everybody responds via email, then call them and see what happens. You'd be surprised. Yeah, you'd be very surprised. Yeah. But I mean, again, people have to get over the fear of cold calling, get rid of that prospecting paralysis first. And so that's what holds people back a lot of times is fear. So anything you can do to get rid of that fear, get into cold calling, you will be
better than your competitors. 100%.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like whenever we look at prospecting, and like you said, prospecting paralysis, I mean, it's one, I truly believe it's a true thing because it's very easy just to say, well, I need to find all this research. I need to make sure I'm finding the right person.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that like I got into a really good routine of, I would, go into my account, call the person, and as it's ringing, I'm going to their website or I'm going into Zoom info and finding one or two pieces of information that I can then leverage. If I'm calling and I know I'm going to go to the gatekeeper, I want to find out who should I be talking to. Mm-hmm. And I can do that either through questions with the gatekeeper or through a different like Zoom info or any resource like that. And so it's like, you don't need to find much, right? Because if you spend 15 minutes trying to find all the information and no one answers, like you wasted now 17 minutes because it's taken 2 minutes to call and leave a voicemail. So, for those of you that are nervous about just getting started, like pick up the phone, make the mistakes, make them early because it's going to be worth it because no one else is going to be calling.
Yeah. And if you're wondering how you should do it, just literally look at a Nike ad and just read those 3 little letters at the bottom of the swoosh. Just do it. That is the best strategy for doing it. Okay. Just do it. Awesome. So another thing we saw last year, and we were part of it, Katie, but another thing we saw last year was a huge rise in content by sellers. Huge rise. Yeah. So how do we see that changing in 2022?
Well, first and foremost, in the most simplistic way, the content creation is getting shorter, which is amazing because we haven't been doing the broetry style of posts where it's one line, another line with an emoji, 5 emojis, and then something else. So that's really good. But some of the things that I've been noticing a lot of too, as I've been expanding my network, instead of seeing like just sellers that sell products that help salespeople, say that 10 times fast, is they're figuring out ways to create content around their product that makes sense to really everyone. So even sellers that sell sales focused products, figuring out how to make it smarter, how to make it more usable, right? Like I love seeing all the posts about people's lives. I love seeing about graduations. Heck, in August, I'll post one about my graduation. But being able to see how someone uses their product and not like in a white paper way or like a use case way, but little tips and tricks, I think is something that we're going to see a lot more of.
Yeah, I think you're right, Katie, is that what's really cool over the last year and a bit is that, like you said, the time to producing content is a lot shorter. It's so much easier to be like me, myself in my home office up in the north. I have an entire
north
studio
of the wall, set. One may say
north of the wall, right? So I have lighting. I have a great professional quality microphone, camera, all these things, and I can edit a video like this video. I'll be able to edit and have live in 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so it's like the fact that you can have really high quality content produced just like that, with limited effort, it really it forces you to level up. Right. Yeah. And the way that you can level up as a seller, even if you're not a creative and don't do raps like Ding or like other cool stuff that other sellers do, the best way to create high quality content that will help you sell is actually going to be all focused around helping your buyer. So just what Katie said, how-to content structured around the problems that people have and how you solve them. That's going to help you sell, because even if it doesn't generate this huge amount of inbound lead influx, it's going to be the fuel that feeds your engine, your outbound engine. Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think a very good and easy example is outreach. I think in what we're not saying, hey, let's, take what marketing sense and post it online because it's going to help people, but instead say, hey, I just tried this new sequence template. Here's what it was. and it went really well. If you try this, let me know what you think, and share that information versus with outreach, I'm able to do this, this, and this. But because of you sharing that helpful information, other people are going to say, oh my gosh, I want to do sequences like that, but I have to do everything through a mail merge on my Word document.
Yeah.
I don't have a tool. What tool would you recommend? Like, what did you use to make that happen? So it's that almost dark social approach to selling, which is going to be, I think, another thing that we're going to see a lot more of this year.
Oh, I'm actually excited to see what people put out there. And in truth, Katie, I have to admit, like, because we're so in the sales world, I'm excited to see what content people produce, not for the sales world. Like, I'm really excited to see that. So the last thing that we talked about for the show that we think is going to happen. So another thing that we saw over the past year and a bit, I remember our December show, December 2019, December 2020. Yes, our December 2020 show with Devin, Jason Bay, and Dale Dupree. Jason mentioned that one of the biggest fails of 2020 was AI. Okay. Mm-hmm. It did not produce very good quality. It did not help as much. But what I saw over the last year is a move from AI doing the thing for you to AI assisting you doing the thing. So it still requires a human touch, but the artificial intelligence helped a lot of people just get better at what they're doing and get better coaching, that kind of stuff. So how do you think that's going to evolve over the next year and a bit? And first, do you see any examples of good AI? And if so, how do you think the market's going to evolve?
Two companies in particular that I think are starting to get it going. Obviously, Gong has done a good job anyways. And obviously, I'm going to have to say Outreach bringing in Kaya, I think is going to be a huge asset, very similar tool to Gong. But its name is Kaya. and they do all the typical outreach stuff. But and what I really like about it, and once again, I think Gong had kind of originated this, is as a seller, if I'm going through a call and my prospect mentions one thing or another, like, I like how it pops up and it tells me like, oh, hey, here's some, interesting resources, or here's how to defend against that objection. For young sellers, especially, I think that's incredibly important. For older sellers that are more tenured, that don't read product release notes, that's also going to be incredibly important. So there's a lot of cool stuff like that. But I'm still sticking with, it's really going to be dependent on how quickly the AI assist can evolve and the scalability for it as well. Because you're going to have really great teams to help build out some of the functionality for it. So I'm still a little hesitant of what this is going to look like. Yeah.
Well, I see it moving forward is that AI is going to continue kind of what it's doing and just getting better at it. Like I used a tool called Wingman for a bit last year, which had similar, during a call, it'll tell you if you're talking too much and if you're, if you're mentioning something too many times, that kind of stuff. And like those simple little pieces of AI, like those simple little things that pop up, they are helpful. Like I found them really helpful in my sales calls. And I could just see more things like that. Just like you said, helping those junior sales reps get up to speed, and then helping those senior sales reps just keep on top of everything because they already know how to sell, but keeping on top of what's common, what's up to date, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see where AI goes this year. There's some new tools coming out that I'm not even going to name on here. I might announce it in a future podcast, but like some tools that can do bloody amazing things with your selling. And so I'm actually really excited to see them hit the market and run.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, so Katie, we're a sitcom. We're not an hour-long drama here. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining. I'm going to do a quick recap, and you tell me if I missed anything. But Sounds good. Okay, perfect. So what we saw since Katie and I did the best webinar series ever, Sequence Practice, we've seen a lot of trends happening, but what we see moving forward in 2021 is that cold calling is going to continue its rise as the top outbound channel. Be where your competitors aren't so that you get noticed over your others. When you're creating content, we're expecting to see a lot more content from people not selling to salespeople and maybe even not selling technology, and content that really helps their buyer do something, so accomplish their goals or get over roadblocks that are in their way. And then we hope to see AI take that next step of really helping people be better at their job and do make more of an impact in their market. So did I miss anything, Katie?
No, I think that's great. I'm excited to see what this year is going to bring, especially as the tech continues to evolve. I just hope, with the content side of thing, like I want to hear more about how the tech is evolving, not just, like I said earlier, not just about all the amazing things happening in our network's lives, but, want to see what else what the tech will bring to us. So I'm excited.
Right on. Well, you heard it from the tops, Katie Ray herself. This is going to be an amazing year. We're going to see a lot of cool stuff happen. So thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Katie, for joining.
Absolutely.
And happy hunting, folks. Thank you for joining us for the Outbound Sales Podcast. We hope you learned something new that you can use today to start filling your funnel and leveling up your outbound sales game. If you're still looking for more support and guidance on how to get to 10 meetings or more booked a month, then go to outboundsos.com. There's something for everybody. Thanks and happy hunting.